G'day and welcome to the show. Look at that screen. We go 7-2 yesterday, good for almost 11 units. We are now up 47.5 units in March, up 18.5 units since we started recording on YouTube. Let's look back. We placed a few bets after we stopped recording. Yeah, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Follow me on Twitter at SoulCovers. We've got 3 bets placed already, and 2 of them are already in really good positions. We have a max bet down today. One spot that I really, really like, and then we also have another play which you can go and grab right now. So looking back, we had the Wolves and Pacers under 232.5. Pretty on the money with that. Wolves in these revenge spot matchups, 14-8 to the under when they lose to a team as favourites and they're playing them again. So that was a good spot. Wizards and Raptors under, we got ahead of the market on that. That game closed around 227.5. Projections like that. Wizards been playing a bit better defense with Chris Middleton and Marcus Smart in the lineup. We didn't have this one on during the show, but we ended up betting on the Sixers +7. Just thought there was too many points for a Pelicans team without that could be potentially without Zion. Zion ends up getting ruled out. That spread closes at Pelicans -3. So walked into that game with a good ticket, but the Pelicans won by 13. We also had the over that game. We tried to blind bet as Sixers over. They've been catching over steam 8 out of their last 9 games. However, this game without Zion, we walked in that game with a bad ticket. That game closed at 225 over under and went well short of that total. But as for the rest of our bets, all 5 of them from there, all cash. So we had the Bulls +4 at Denver. Bulls outright win. I did say on the show there was going to be a point where you're going to have to sell high on the Bulls, but I said this is not the spot to sell high. We had that game projected at Nuggets -4 with Jokic, and we knew Jokic wasn't going to play. We also liked the over in that game, had that game projected at 251. That did account for a healthy Jokic, but he is not worth 14 points to a total. That is crazy. We also picked up a very nice Celtics -3. Had some injury news break our way. Celtics full squad. And yeah, that was a very sweat-free bet. The Celtics just in another class compared to the Kings. And then we cashed a middle. We cashed a middle on the Suns and Bucks game. We played both sides of this. We picked up the Suns -1 and then picked up a Bucks +3. Timed that very well. That game finishes at Suns by 2. We cashed both sides. It's the first middle we've cashed. We've probably played about 3 or 4, maybe 4 or 5 of them since we've started recording YouTube, and like that's why we do them, because that middle, the most amount of units I could lose is 1. I could either gain 1, just under 1 unit, or if both sides cash, we get 4 units and some change on that. So love to see that. Let's get into the slate. Like I said, we've got
one pair of pants later.
So 8 games. We first have the Magic and Hornets. Magic coming off a very nice win in LA against the in Orlando against the Lakers. If you watch back to my previous episode, I had the Magic favored in that game, -2, so there was a massive edge towards the Magic. I did not play them. Bit ticked off about that. Hornets coming off a big loss against Miami. Heat finally broke the losing streak against the Hornets. Just looking at this before I get into the projections and the spread, this is like a classic letdown spot for the Magic coming off a win against the Lakers. Cole Anthony is doubtful. LaMelo Ball is in. Mark Williams is in. Line open at Magic -5 at both the Rec books and the Sharp books. Get into that in a moment. Projections at Magic -7. Do I really want to back the Magic here? No. Hornets sneaky good as home underdogs, going 19-12 against the spread as home underdogs. The total is where I'm watching very closely. So total opened at 210.5 at the rec books. It opened at 212.5 at the sharp books. Now, if we've got a few new people watching, just to explain, the rec books or the recreational books, those are your FanDuels, DraftKings, Bet365. They generally opened all of their NBA markets earlier than the sharp books, who are your Circa, your Pinnacle, your South Point. The sharp books, they accept higher wages. They'll accept a $1,000 bet, a $10,000 bet. Whereas if you try doing that at FanDuel or DraftKings and you win, like, if you just continue to keep winning them, they'll just limit you. They won't accept your bets. Whereas the sharp books, they will continue to accept your bets. So we've seen the total now sitting at 213, so a bit of movement off the sharp number, but I've got this total projected at 207.5. And we haven't seen enough movement off the sharp number. The rec books, they open the markets first. Then when the sharp books open, all of the rec books will generally move all of their spreads and totals towards that sharp number. So yeah, looking at this total, I'm looking very closely at the under. We have the two best under teams in the league. We have two of the top 7 slowest teams in the league. Yes, this is a low total, but you can't get a total low enough for these teams. One thing that does make me hesitate is LaMelo Ball is in. He should play. He's definitely an over player. But looking at these previous games between these teams, final totals of 203, 179. That might be one of the lowest combined totals we've seen, and 188. Like, in terms of what numbers are currently available, the under 213 now, probably one of my favorite bets on the board. I haven't placed it. My position here is I'm just going to wait, see if any of these sharp books move down. Happy to get a worse number as the cost of getting that market information. And yeah, there are some spots where I will just wait for the market and then line shop to get a better number. And then there are some spots where I'm happy to just go ahead and play it without that market information. This is one where I want to see where the books move off that sharp number. So let's move on. Spurs and Pistons. Rec books open this at 8.5 to the Pistons. Sharp books at 9.5 to the Pistons. Still there at 9.5. We got this projected at Pistons -10. Cade is questionable. That's something to note, as is Stephon Castle. Charles Bassey is also out, just in case you were wondering about Charles Bassey. I have nothing here on the spread. Cade being a late scratch for that last Pistons and Pelicans game really pissed me off. Don't want to play into a spread where Cade is such a question mark. There's just not much news on what his injury is. It's a bilateral calf strain. I don't think I've ever heard of that injury before. Looking at the total though, we saw this total open at 232.5. I was thinking about playing the over. I didn't do it with Cade being questionable, but we see the sharp books open this at 236.5. Now we see this total move down a bit off the sharp number. So bit of movement up, bit of movement down. Given all the injury question marks, best to just stay away from this game. Next, we have the Jimmy Butler revenge game. Heat finally snapped their losing streak against the Hornets. Warriors coming off a bad loss against the Hawks. Steph Curry is questionable with a sore ass. projections at Warriors -4.5 with Steph Curry. And yeah, look, we've seen Warriors spreads swing between 4 to 5 points with Steph getting ruled out. So if he gets ruled out, it's like Warriors -3. If he gets ruled in, it's like Warriors -8. For me, this is Heat or nothing for the spot. Haven't bet it yet. Like, Coach Spo and the Heat, they're getting up for this game. Maybe the Warriors will too. Haven't played this spread, but I would only play the Heat. Looking at the total, we saw this total open at 221.5 at the rec books. We saw it open at 218 at the sharp books. Total projected at 219 with Steph in the lineup. So, like, this total just plummets if Steph Curry gets ruled out. We see the totals move up to 8 points without Steph in the lineup. He is a top 5 over player in the NBA, along with Trae Young, Tyrese Halliburton, Nikola Jokic, and Dame Lillard. So yeah, I lean on the Heat and under, but I do not have any bets in this game as of right now. Next, we have the Dallas Mavericks in New York playing the Knicks. Great to see AD playing. Dallas on a back-to-back spot here. AD will not be playing this game. Dallas just beat the Nets. Brunson is still out for the Knicks, as is Miles McBride, and Mitchell Robinson is questionable. We saw the rec books open at Knicks -7.5. We saw the sharp books open at Knicks -8.5. So we've seen some movement off the sharp number to Knicks -9.5. Projections at Knicks -10.5, but that does account for a healthy Brunson. So do I love chasing steam on the Knicks, backing them when they're so banged up? No. And yeah, I have trouble projecting this Dallas team as well, with so many players in and out of the lineup. Nothing from me here on the spread, but where I do have a small bet down is on the over. We played an over 223.5 for 1 unit. Nothing more than that, just because my projections are a bit all over the place with Dallas. For me, it was a very simple cap. We saw the rec books open at 222.5, sharp books open at 224. I did see some of the sharp books start to move towards 224.5. I picked up a 223.5, projections like that. Nothing more. You can still pick up a 223.5 or 224 at FanDuel. Just for 1 unit, don't go strong on this. Now the total projected at 229.5, that does account for Brunson, but I don't think Brunson is as much of an overplayer as your Steph, Dame, Trae Young. Yes, the Knicks are better offensively with him on the floor, but he also just pound. He pounds the rocks, slows the pace down a lot for the Knicks. Jalen Brunson's on-off stats, especially offensively, just haven't been as good this season. I think part of that is because Karl-Anthony Towns is really carrying these Knicks bench lineups. But yeah, I'm happy to tell the market on this. Got a 223.5, 224, still okay. Play that for 1 unit. Moving on to a game where I did not tell the market, I just bet it straight away, and this is the Atlanta Hawks and the Houston Rockets. Let's get straight to the total here. That's where my bet's down. I played over 232.5 for 3 units. That's where we saw the rec books open up at 232.5. Looked at the projected total, 237.5. We know the Hawks, second fastest team in the league, second best over team in the league. The Rockets are a good defense, but I do think that is a little bit of fool's gold. We crunched a few numbers. We saw that the Rockets are 14-6 to the over, playing against top 10 pace teams. That's all you need to do. Yep, sign me up for a Hawks over. Say less. Can't just Google how teams perform against top 10 pace teams. You can't Google that. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe because you gotta do a lot of copying and pasting and filtering on spreadsheets to find that number. So, sharp books open at 233.5. We see Circa at 234.5. So, sitting on a nice ticket there. Now at 234 at Bet365. I believe that is the best over under you can get. I would still play that for a unit, maybe 2 units. Yeah. As for the spread, we saw this open at -8 at both the rec and sharp books. Projections at Rockets -9. No movement off that number, but if anything, I like the Hawks in this spot. Rockets have just been one of the most difficult teams to cap. Like, they almost lost to the Sixers, they lost to the Bulls, they lost to the Nuggets without Jokic. I thought, like, this team was a really good team to bet on against the spread in 2024. 2025, they have not been good against the spread. I thought they would be better with Fred VanVleet. They just haven't really been covering games. They've been winning games, but definitely not covering games. So, I mean, maybe Rockets money line, but I've got nothing here on the spread. Love our ticket on the total though, so let's move on. Next, we have the Grizzlies in Utah. Ja remains to be out. Larry Markkinen is out. John Collins out. Jordan Clarkson questionable. I'm going to keep this very short and sweet. Nothing on the spread. We saw the sharp books open at Grizzlies -10, rec books there at -10 as well. Yeah, nothing on the spread, just very difficult to play into these Utah Jazz games. Grizzlies just have been really bad against the spread. They were like ranked third against the spread going into the All-Star break, and now they've dropped all the way down to 10th. Total opened at 244.5 at the rec books, 241.5 at the sharp books. Now at 240.5, seen some movement towards the under. Projected total at 243.5. I've got nothing on this game, and neither should you. Cavs and Trailblazers. We saw the spread open at Cavs -9, however that quickly moved due to Donovan Mitchell being ruled out. Aside from that, fairly clean injury reports on both sides. I've said on previous shows that, like, the Cavs, they are a team that I want to back when they sit out any of the big four because they're just such a deep team. They got so many guys they can just plug and play into these lineups, and I think the market may price their star players as being worth a bit more than what they should be because their bench is so good. Like, Ty Jerome's going to play more minutes. DeAndre Hunter, Max Strus, Dean Wade, all going to play more. All very solid rotation players. So in this spot here, now we see it at 6.5. That's where the sharp books opened up. Do I really want to back the Cavs, who haven't looked great against a hungry Blazers team coming off a loss? Blazers 18-7 against the spread versus the East. That's a crazy number. Yeah, nothing from me here on the spread. Let's look at the total. We saw this total open at 234. Sharp books open at 230.5. Now, all of that movement you can again attribute to Donovan Mitchell being ruled out, but just like the spread, I think the Cavs star players probably not worth as much to the over as the market is pricing them, because you just plug in Ty Jerome, Dean Wade, Max Strus, DeAndre Hunter. Like, these are guys that can still like get threes up, guys that aren't going to play amazing defense. So here, yeah, I would actually look towards an over if the market moves that way. For now, got nothing on this game. Let's get into the last game on the card, which is where our max bet is. Take a moment to look at the screen and tell me where you think my max bet is down. Yes, that's right. It is on the over in this game. Let's get the current numbers up as well. We saw this total open at 226.5 at the rec books. I've got this projected at 238. That is an 11-point edge. We max bet that 226.5 number. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I didn't just blindly play it. I checked, yes, Thunder, pace up team, over team. Thunder, yes, they are the best defense in the league, but their defense has slipped a little bit off the historical sort of pace before the All-Star break. Kings, bottom 10 defense. J-Dub and Shet are questionable. J-Dub, probably an overplayer. Shet, definitely an underplayer, so that's a bit of injury risk that could go our way. Chet with those big, long arms, he's very good at protecting the rim. Just looking at these previous matchups between these two teams, now both of these matchups had Fox and no Levine. Just keep that in mind, so you can't just take these as gospel, but Game 1, Thunder win in Sacramento. 239 they finished total combined score. That total saw some movement towards the over. Close at 225.5. Game number 2, Thunder win by 34 points. The total combined score is 254. That total opened at 232.5, closed at 236.5. That is very important market information. 4 points of oversteam to 236, and we can pick up a 226. Say less. Thunder 23-11 to the over against bottom 10 defenses. Can't Google that. Kings 12-7 to the over against top 10 pace teams. Kings 21-12 to the over at home. Kings 9-5 to the over in back-to-back spots. Thunder 8-5 to the over against teams in back-to-back spots. Everything here is pointing over, and now we see 231 on the board, so we are sitting on a great ticket. In terms of what you can do right now at 231, I'd still be playing the over for 2 units, maybe 3 units. For me, what I'm going to do sitting on a 226.5 is I'm just going to wait. I've got my max bet down. If I start to see this getting up to 233, 234, maybe I'll look to play some of this back towards the under, try and open up that middle, mitigate that risk on the max bet, and then just give myself an opportunity to make even more money. So yeah, and if you see me post on Twitter that I'm playing a bet back, don't tail it unless you got the number that I played the first bet at. Don't go playing the under on this game if you're not sitting on a 226 or 227, 228. The direction for this game is over. I'm just trying to limit my risk on my max bet if I play something back. So let's get into our best bets. We can keep this on the screen for a bit longer if you like. Just a great day yesterday, and feeling very good about the card today as well. Not much action though, but got a big bet down, like I said, on the Thunder and Kings, sitting on a great ticket there. Sniffed out a bad line, love to see that. At current numbers, I would still play over in the Kings Thunder, would play that for 2 to 3 units. Hawks, Rockets over, would still play that for 2 units. Mavs, Knicks over, still available at FanDuel at 224, would play that for 1 unit. So, sitting on some 2 very good tickets, 1 hopefully good ticket. Looking for it to be another good day as we continue a great run in March. Till next time, let's get them books salty.